Hey, welcome to Polish with Ray. I'm Rachel and today I'm going to be sharing with you a new collection from Bee's Lacquer called The Craft. This collection is going to launch on October 18th at 7 p.m. Eastern Time and will be available through October 27th. The 12-piece collection is inspired by the movie The Craft and features a variety of polishes and different finishes. Some of the polishes in this collection are dark and kind of spooky, and then others are a little bit lighter and kind of more muted. We have shimmers, magnetics, multi-chromes, and a lot of lion cousins and siblings. I will leave everything you need to know about this release as well as like overpours and that kind of information down in the description box. So we're going to take a look at live swatches of this gorgeous collection as well as full hand swatches out in natural lighting. And then I also included some comparisons to older Bee's Lacquer polishes, and I was kind of surprised on a few of them. And after the live swatching, I will finish up with final thoughts and give you my favorites from this release. All right, we have 12 beautiful polishes to look at, so let's go ahead and check them out. So we're going to take a look at some of the shimmers first, beginning with It's Only Magic. This one's described as being a ghostly green with bright green shimmer. This one had a creamier finish. You can see it applied so smoothly, evenly. It was very easy to work with, all while still getting a beautiful punch from that glowy green shimmer. I found that in 2 coats, I had really even coverage, but that 3rd coat did give me full opacity or really, really close to it. Yeah, I don't think I got any visible nail line for myself in 3 coats, but I think if you did thinner coats, there's a chance that you might have a little bit of, so this is what 3 coats looks like with a glossy top coat, and I did show it in a variety of lighting setups. So here's what it looks like in some overcast outdoor lighting. Unfortunately, the sun has not been cooperating here. We've had a lot of storms, as I think many of you have as well. So not a whole lot of sunlight in this video, but still some outdoor footage. So 3 coats with a glossy top coat in overcast lighting. I took it inside, and here's what it looks like inside near a window. You can see that gorgeous glowy green shimmer, and it doesn't say anything about it shifting. It just describes it as it being a green shimmer, but I did feel like maybe depending on the angle or the lighting, sometimes it did take on more of an aqua appearance. So when I put this on, I immediately thought of It's You, It's Me, It's Us from the Haunting of Bly Manor collection. But you can see that one has a similar shimmer, but a very different base. The base of that one is a lot more gray leaning, and It's Only Magic kind of reminded me of key lime pie, which I loved. The next super soft shimmer in this release is called Perfect Love, and it's described as being a blush gray with glowy pink to purple shimmer. This one also had a kind of creamier lean to the base, and I've really been enjoying in general this kind of shifty shimmer from Bee's Knees lately. And I think it's kind of the best of both worlds because a lot of Bee's Knees lover love those super sheer shades. I personally prefer my shimmers a little more opaque, and this one had a little visible nail line, but not a whole lot. It would be an easy one to pair with a blurring base coat and get full opacity. So here's what 3 coats looks like. You see that soft grayish pink base, the gorgeous glowing sparkly shifty shimmer. This one was so, so beautiful. So here's what 3 coats looks like with a glossy top coat and some sunlight. You can maybe pick out a little bit of visible nail line at extreme angles, but for the most part, this one was pretty opaque for me. And I just thought this was a fabulous, soft, sweet neutral. It felt delicate, it felt dainty, and so pretty. Here's what it looks like in lower outdoor lighting. Also completely gorgeous. And then inside near a window, the shimmer just glows here. It's beautiful. And I did not have any comparisons for this one because I had nothing like it in my Bee's Lacquer collection. I found it to be super unique. And next up we have Binding. This one's described as being a mid-toned gray with glowy green to purple shimmer. This one also leaned creamy. It was a little bit sheer on that first coat, but it built up really quickly and so beautifully. I ended up building everything up, I think, in this collection to 3 coats. This one, I think, needed 3 coats. It was really even on that second coat, but on that third coat, it deepened up the color. It looked the same as it did in the bottle, and I had full opacity. I did feel like on my full hand swatch, I could pick out a little bit of patchiness on some nails, but I'm going to chalk that up to application because that wasn't my experience in this live swatch or on most of my nails. So here are 3 coats with a glossy top coat and some overcast outdoor lighting. The base with this one was so interesting. Sometimes it did feel like a gray, but other times it looked more like a purple, which I think makes this one absolutely fabulous for fall. I like these kind of colors in winter too. I'm really coming around on smoky purples. So beautiful in that indoor lighting also. Yeah, this one was really interesting and again, pretty unique to my collection. I thought I would have a dupe for this. It kind of reminds me of Bee's Knees Lacquer Hippolyta, but I don't have that one. I wish I did. But I do have Bee's Knees Lacquer Get Lobstered. They looked like in the bottle because of the shimmer, but obviously are so very different on the nail. Get Lobstered is sheer, it's very ethereal, whereas Binding is super opaque. One that I predict is going to be a top seller from this collection is called I Invoke Thee. This one is a muted grape with glowy blue shimmer. Compared to the other shimmers we've looked at so far, I believe this one is the most sheer. It built up really evenly and beautifully, so it would be fabulous for layering. That's what I plan to do with it. But in 3 coats, I did have a decent amount of visible nail line. However, I was pretty distracted from the gorgeous purple base and the blue shimmer. Y'all know, probably. I'm not a big purple polish person, but I almost put this in my top picks. It's a gorgeous base color, and the blue shimmer is just so glowy. So here's what 3 coats looks like with a glossy top coat in lower outdoor lighting. You can see when the light is more overcast, that visible nail line is not noticeable at all. It's only when you're in bright lighting that you really notice it. And then here is what it looks like in indoor lighting near a window. Oh, that glow. Yeah, you can pick out my visible nail line a little bit. I also noticed in the brighter lighting that you can see a little bit of brush strokiness happening. That wasn't super common and it wasn't very noticeable, but I did want to point it out. So I have another way off comparison. On the right, Tell Me About Your Dreams is from the American Horror Story Red Tide collection several years ago. They look alike in the bottle. They've got that blue glow, but that's about it. Tell Me About Your Dreams is a lot more saturated and bright. And next we have 3x3. This one is a sheer grungy brown with glowy violet shimmer. Okay, so this one is very sheer and very pruggly. If those are things you like, you're gonna love this one. It really gives your nails but better, but prugglier, and blue glowier kind of look. I felt that 3 coats gave me pretty much no coverage. I could see my nail showing through. They just looked like they were lightly tinted and orangey brown, and that blue shimmer really does pop and glow against that warmer base. So here's what 3 coats looks like with a glossy top coat. Definitely has that squishy jelly feel that I know lots of you do appreciate. Y'all probably know at this point, this is not my polish. I do not like prugglies or shears. So this was the only polish out of the collection I wasn't thrilled about. However, I know a lot of people love those things, and so this polish is for them. I foresee myself using this polish to layer as a topper. I think it would look really cool layered over a brown base of some kind. So I thought I'd have something kind of similar to this because Bee's Knees has so many prugglies, but the only thing I could think of was FFS from the Elden Ring collection. There we go. It has a red lean though instead of a yellow lean, and it's super opaque. Well, compared to 3x3 anyway. And this next one, which is the last shimmer in this collection, is called We Are The Weirdos, Mister. It's described as being a black polish with silvery green to orange shimmer. This one was so interesting and unique. I'm just reading the descriptions for the first time here and was surprised that this one was a shimmer. I actually put it And between the shimmers and the multi-chromes, because I wasn't sure which it was, it feels kind of like chromy and metallic. And the coloration feels more metallic, but it definitely does read to be a shimmer. I think some people will be good with this one in 2 coats. I did add a 3rd coat just to see what it did, and it maybe deepened up the color slightly, but I just don't know that that 3rd coat was altogether necessary. So here's what it looks like in 3 coats with a glossy top coat and some sunlight. You can see it's got really interesting shifts to like a copper, to a bronze, to a gold. And because of those warm metallic-y shifts, I thought the base was brown. I actually didn't realize it had a black base. I thought it was like a chocolatey brown. Doesn't it here in lower outdoor lighting look kind of chocolatey? Maybe I'm just hungry. Here's what it looks like near a window indoors. Yeah, those shifts are so interesting. It almost kind of looks like it shifts to green, also like a greeny gold. Yeah, I had nothing like this. I don't have any comparisons for it. It felt like a totally different finish that I've not tried from Bee's Knees Lacquer before. We've got one gorgeous multi-chrome in this collection, and it is called Bad Manners. It's described as being a vibrant purple to green multi-chrome that might be the shiftiest multi-chrome Bee's Knees Lacquer has ever made. That's their description. I'm just sharing it. So this one had a really interesting and unique formula. It has a clear base and like these micro flakies, which I feel like help with the shift. It does make it a little bit sheer on application. This one's going to be definitely a 3-coater, although it probably would make a really cool topper. A 3-coater, and even in that 3 coats, I could pick out a little bit of my nail showing through. You can see it there like on the corner, but I'll say from like a distance, it wasn't really noticeable. Just when you're looking at your nails this closely, for me it was. So here's what 3 coats looks like with a glossy top coat in some overcast outdoor lighting. I'm making a really silly face. This is cool. This is a really pretty multi-chrome, and I'm not a multi-chrome person, but I was like, okay, I like this. Green, gold, copper, pink, purple, like an indigo kind of purple. Gold, did I say gold? Lots of color shifts in this. It is really, really pretty. I feel like I don't even need to say anything. I'll just let you enjoy. Okay, I need to talk again. Really beautiful shifty multi-chrome. I was curious to see how it compared to Prince of Nothing from the House of Sky and Breath collection. They are close, but I would say Bad Manners has an additional shift to like an indigo-y purple that Prince of Nothing does not have. Prince of Nothing, I feel like, starts at like a kind of magenta, warm purple, whereas Bad Manners, I don't know why I said that like that, but Bad Manners has more of like a blurply indigo shift initially and then shifts into all the other shades. And now we're getting into the lions. So this first one is called North, and it is a pale gray lion cousin with glowy purple shimmer and a ton of hollow flakes. This one had a beautiful formula. It was a little sheer on that first coat, but it had like a creamier feel to it, and it did build up really well for me in 3 coats. You can see here on the second coat, we already get like a really pretty, it's described as a pale gray, but it felt against my skin tone like a white, which I love a gorgeous white polish. So I was very excited to see. So 3 coats gave me full opacity. I had no visible nail line after those 3 coats. And I want to say most people will get full opacity from this one in 3. So here's what they look like out in the sunlight. Nature did its thing and gave me some sunshine to share this gorgeous polish with you. It was so sparkly in the sun, and with that added like pinky purple shimmer, I loved it. And then here's what it looks like indoors near a window. Again, just so beautiful, shifting from that purple to like a pinky kind of shift. Yeah, this one was so pretty. So I was really interested to see how it would compare to Everyone Falls in Love with Me Eventually from the Resident Evil Village collection, because that is maybe one of my favorite Bee's Knees lacquer polishes. And if you missed out on it, North is pretty close. I'm tempted. Let me know if you're interested. I'm tempted to swatch them side by side on my actual nail to see how they measure up. Let me know if you'd be interested in seeing that. I can post it on YouTube and on my Instagram, but I think they're pretty close. Next, we're going to take a look at Manon, and this one's described as being a redwood lion cousin with green to blue shimmer, a ton of hollow flakes, and electric blue magnetic shimmer. So this one's on the sheer side as far as the lion cousins that we're looking at in today's video. This one was definitely the most sheer of them. In 3 coats, I got relatively full opacity, but it varied depending on my magnetic style. With the cat eye effect, you'll have a little bit more visible nail line and a little bit less, unless you're looking at it from certain angles with the velvet effect. But I had really close to full opacity in 3 coats. That's what you're looking at here with all 3 coats magnetized. You could also, if you wanted fuller coverage, more full coverage, you could use no magnet for the first 2 coats and just apply the magnet for the top coat. That'll give you more opacity. So here's what 3 coats looks like with a glossy top coat. On my middle and ring finger, I used a horseshoe magnet, and then on my pointer finger and my pinky finger, I used a cat eye magnet. I would say the magnetic effect for this one is on the more subtle side. It's not super noticeable like Dancing Queens from a few releases ago. You can see it a little better here, shifting from that dark blue to the more like aqua bright blue. And it's really pretty. It's just not one that I would see and go like, ooh, magnetic. I also think this one looks beautiful unmagnetized, which we'll look at here in just a second on the comparison that I have. And just because this one has hollow and there was no sun when I filmed it outside, I had to show what it looks like in my studio lighting. So that is what we're looking at here, and that bright lighting really exaggerates the contrast between the magnetic pigment and the darker blue base of this polish. Look at that hollow too. I love it. I love me a lion. I'm wearing a lion with a thorn in its paw on my nails for myself right now. So yeah, I love them. So I was kind of curious to how it would compare unmagnetized to There's a Little Matter of Murder to Attend to from the Kingdom of the Wicked collection. You can see they're different. They give a similar vibe, but they're different. The base of Manon is blue, and the base of There's a Little Matter of Murder to Attend to feels teal. And the next lion cousin we have is called West. This one is a blackberry red lion cousin with glowy blue shimmer and a ton of hollow flakes, of course. This one is super opaque. It kind of has a squishy jelly feel on this first coat, but you can see it's pretty well pigmented. So on the second coat of this, I got decent opacity, and it was very smooth and even, so it'd be great to wear layered over something. I thought it looked great in 2 coats personally, but on that third coat, it did deepen up the color and make it truly more of like a blackberry as opposed to like a raspberry color, which it kind of looked like at 2 coats. And I like having that versatility. I think it's nice. So here's what 3 coats looks like with a glossy top coat in some overcast outdoor lighting. You can see that blue shimmer. It's intense. It kind of took over, and I didn't mind. Y'all know, purple, not my favorite. But I did think this polish was beautiful, and I loved it anyway. Here's what it looks like in some lower, even lower outdoor lighting. And then here is what it looks like indoors near a window. Really, really pretty. And again, I just like the blue glow a whole lot. And then I wanted to show off what it looks like as well in my studio lighting, so you could see that gorgeous holographic sparkle. And gorgeous. By the way, with all of these, I just wore a regular quick dry glossy top coat. I did not experience any bleeding with any of the polishes that I shared with you today. So I thought that this would be kind of close to Monsters Could Be Created But Never Tamed from the Kingdom of Wicked collection, but that one was a lot more sheer. It was also less pigmented, it was less sheer, and it also was a lot lighter in base color. And the next shade is called South. This one is a deep mahogany lion cousin with glowy blue shimmer and a ton of hollow flakes. This one applied very similarly to West. Yes. It had a jelly base to it and it built up really well. At first it looked kind of like a warm brown, but as you continued to build it up, the base color got deeper and more rich. It always did feel like, though, a mahogany, like a warm, cozy brown. And I felt like the base of this one combined with that blue shimmer was just a really interesting and unique combination. I don't have anything like that in my collection. I did provide a comparison though, just because I was kind of curious. So here's what 3 coats looks like with a glossy top coat and some overcast outdoor lighting. And I wonder if the same shimmer was used for West and East because it felt the same. They both just had this loud, bold, intense blue glow. It was really pretty. And I just felt like, again, so unique paired with either of those base colors. Here's what it looks like indoors near a window. Very glowy again. And then here is what it looks like in my studio lighting to show off that gorgeous holographic sparkle. So like I said, I didn't have anything quite like this, but I did want to see base color wise how it compared to Sunrise Sunset from the What We Do in the Shadows 3 collection. You can see that South has a much warmer base, whereas Sunrise Sunset is a lot more like a blackened brown base. And then the final polish in this release is called East, and this one is a black lion cousin with glowy purple shimmer and a ton of hollow flakes. This one had the same kind of buildable, crelly formula that the last 2 we looked at had. It was on the creamier side. It was very buildable and looked nice in 2 coats, but that 3rd coat added full opacity. Sorry, I had to sneeze. I stopped it in time. So 3 coats gave me very full opacity, and the shimmer in this is described as being purple, and yes, I saw purple most of the time, but I also saw like a pink shift. Oh, and I love purple and pink in a shimmer. I think it's so pretty, and I love a black polish. So this one, it spoke to me. So here's 3 coats with a glossy top coat and some overcast outdoor lighting. Yeah, this one I feel like is so perfect for fall, for Halloween. It's very spooky. Here's what it looks like in indoor lighting near a window. Just the contrast between the hollow flakes, they're so rainbowy, and the black base and the shifting shimmer. It's just wonderful. And then here is what it looks like in my studio lighting. So you can see that gorgeous sparkle from that holographic. So stunning. I did not have any comparisons for this shade. Nothing. So pretty. I love this one. So that was Bee's Lacquer's The Craft collection. Let me know down in the comments all of your thoughts about this release. What do you think of the collection as a whole, and what were your favorites? When I unboxed this collection, I was just instantly in love with it. Of course, I was so excited about the lion cousins and siblings. I don't know if you could tell. But I just thought the color story as a whole, as someone who isn't familiar with The Craft, I haven't seen that movie, but I just thought the color story as a whole was really cohesive. The polishes really gave off, even though they were so different, gave off the same vibe. And as always with Bee's Lacquer, I felt like these were just beautifully done. The shimmers were all so glowy. I loved seeing more opaque finishes this time around too. But favorites. If I had to narrow it down to 3, here is what they would be. My first top pick is Perfect Love. I can't quite put into words how much and even why I adored this shade so much. But from the minute I unboxed it, it was instant love, no pun intended. Just the base color is the sweetest, most like effortlessly beautiful base color. And then the shimmer just complements it so well. I feel like this is a shade that would truly look gorgeous on every skin tone. And I'm not someone who reaches for polishes often that aren't like bold and bright, but if I do, like, I want it to be a shade like this. I completely adored this. My next top pick was North. I knew I would love this also when I unboxed this collection. Bee's Knees doesn't make a whole lot of like white, lighter based polishes, at least, you know, since I've been collecting them. And so whenever I see them release one, it instantly grabs my attention. And then when I looked closer and saw those hollow flakes, I was really excited. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous shade. It's so sparkly and beautiful. And for me, this is a shade that I think I'm gonna go ahead and add it now to my already laid out winter rack. It's just so perfect. Perfect for like snowy season. But I think if I had to pick like a top pick from this collection, it would be East. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I was so excited to see this. I just love the vampiness and richness of this dark, deep base color. I adore how the shimmer still pops even though the base is so deep in color. And then the holographic flakes really pop as well. This is one I could see myself wearing all fall and winter. So those were my top picks. Let me know yours down in the comments. Again, I will leave more information about this release and Overpours down in the description box. Hopefully you enjoyed this video and are having a great fall season, and I'll see you next time. Bye!